Hey guys, Blackthorn Gaming back at you with another Spellbreak video. In this video today, we're going to be going over the different spell gauntlets available in the game. We won't talk too much about the combination effects of the spells in this video, instead being more focused on the individual uses of each one. There are 6 different gauntlets to choose from before you start each match. You can pick up a second gauntlet once you're in the game, but we'll talk about that later. The 6 type of gauntlets are Tempest, the Wind Gauntlet, Conduit, the Electrical Gauntlet, Stone Shaper, the Rock Gauntlet, Frostborn, the Ice Gauntlet, Toxicologist, the Poison Gauntlet, and Pyromancer, the Fire Gauntlet. Let's start with Tempest. Tempest's regular attack is Wind Shear. This is the right trigger attack, and at the common level it does 7 damage per attack at close range, which drops the farther away you are, being 3 the lowest possible damage you could do at the maximum distance. The secondary attack of Tempest is a tornado that lasts for 4 seconds and draws in nearby enemies. I'll be honest, this is a good ability, but the timing is very important. If you use this spell and the enemy is too far away, they're not going to really be affected by it. Or if their special ability hasn't cooled down yet, their mobility ability, if it is already cooled down and they get sucked into a tornado, they can just, teleport out or use the flight out or dash out or any of the special abilities to get out of the middle of the tornado, so the timing is really essential. This spell does no damage and has a 14-second cooldown. At the gold rarity of this gauntlet, the wind shear damage is 12 at close range, dropping to 4 at the farthest possible range. A little side note on all of these gauntlets, the secondary attack is not affected by the rarity of the gauntlet that you pick up, so the cooldown and the damage and the duration of the effects of each of the special abilities of each gauntlet is going to be the same for the common gauntlet or the gold gauntlet. Anyway, next up we have Conduit, whose main ability is Lightning Bolts, which do 6 to 8 damage at the base level and 9 to 12 damage at the gold level. These thresholds are once again determined by range. The secondary ability is an area of effect ability that does 20 damage on impact and also leaves the enemy stunned for 1 second. The stun does not include the target's movement and only affects the attacks and the special abilities that the target may have. This ability has a 15-second cooldown. Up next, we have the Toxicologist, whose main ability, Toxic Spray, does 7 to 30 damage at the base level depending on how many pellets you hit. This attack is similar to a shotgun in so much as it has a horizontal spread that widens over distance, so the farther away you are, the harder it is going to be to hit high damage numbers. But if you're right up in their face and you hit all of your pellets, it's going to do 30 at the base level, whereas it will do 46 at the gold level if you hit all your pellets, with 11 being the per pellet damage of the gold gauntlets. The secondary ability of Toxicologist is an area of effect ability called Poison Cloud. Now this deploys a poison cloud wherever you target it. This poison cloud lasts for 6 seconds unless it's disrupted and does 6 damage per tick. A little side note, there are 2 ticks in every second, so that would really be 12 damage per second that somebody is in the gas cloud. If the target is in the cloud for the full duration of the gas cloud, they will take 72 damage. This ability has a 15-second cooldown, similar to the Conduit ability. Next on the list is the Frostborn, whose main attack, Ice Lance, does 15 to 45 damage at the base level, depending on charge time. This ability has no damage fall off and is what you would consider the sniper of Spellbreak. At the gold level, this attack does 24 to 72 damage, depending on the time charged. The secondary ability, Flash Freeze, is an area of effect around the player that freezes a target within the area for 2 seconds if the target is within range of the effect for at least 1 second. This ability has a 20-second cooldown. Next, the Pyromancer, whose fireball attack does 10 to 25 damage at the base level, depending on how close the fireball hits to the target, with 25 being a direct hit and 10 being just kind of close to them. Fireballs that hit the ground will light the ground on fire for 6 seconds. If a target is in this fire, it will hit for 6 damage per tick while in the fire and will leave a burn effect of 4 damage for 1 tick. The gold for 2 ticks, I'm sorry. The gold version does 10 to 38 damage depending on how close you hit to the target. Pyromancer secondary Flame Wall does exactly what it sounds like. Makes a wall of fire. This wall lasts for 15 seconds and does 6 damage per tick while target is in the fire, and 4 burning damage for 2 ticks after the target is clear of the fire. Lastly, we have the Stone Shaper, whose main shockwave attack does 30 to 45 damage depending on rarity. So basically, as long as you are in range of the target that you are attacking, and you are on the ground because you have to be on the ground to use this attack, and your enemy is on the ground because your enemy has to be on the ground in order for this attack to affect them, then at the base level you would do 30 damage for every hit, whereas at the gold level you would do 45 damage for every hit. The secondary Boulder Fall does 20 to 50 damage to targets depending on the distance traveled by the boulder that you throw. So if you're right up in your enemy space and you throw the boulder, it's only going to do 20 damage. But if you are farther away, I'm not sure the exact distance, but you have to be farther away, and the boulder travels for the maximum amount of time, it will do 50 damage at the maximum. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is all the gauntlets broken down from the base level to the gold level. However, something to keep in mind is that all of these statistics are based on having the respective gauntlet type in your offhand. So your damage, your cooldown speed, and other effects can all change based on both the in-match level of your main hand gauntlet, and also by bonuses applied from the mind, body, and spirit perks of both you and your target. And I'll just use the Tempest as an example. So each time the storm moves in and you get into a new storm circle, your in-match gauntlet level will go up by 1 for your main hand gauntlet. So if you have Tempest as your main hand gauntlet, the very first level that you will unlock will be Wind Surge, which is where your right trigger attack, your main wind shear attack, if you aim it at the ground, it will actually push you back or push you up. It'll push you in the opposite direction of the ground you're aiming at. So if you're pushing at an angle, then it will obviously shoot you off at an angle. The second level is Updraft, which makes you immune to your own tornado pool, and if you do enter your own tornado, it launches you into that. The third level will be Squall, which in air, your spell damage will do 20% more, and the damage you take is reduced by 10%. The fourth level, fourth and final, is called Sudden Gust, and while you're in the air, your sorcery cooldown speed is doubled. Well, it's plus 100%, which is doubled. So, in those ways, like I said, the damages, the cooldown, the effects, they can all be changed based on what gauntlet you have in your main hand. And I won't go into too much detail with that today, I just wanted to point that out as a side note. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you're all having a great day. If you like the video, please feel free to leave a like or consider subscribing. If not, that's okay. Have a great day.